everyone, and thank you so much for joining me here today. I'm so grateful to have you. For those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Susan Lopresti. I am a holistic health coach, Reiki, and meditation practitioner. And promoting healthy lifestyles is a passion of mine. And what better way to improve your health than living more sustainably? My mission is to give midlife women the tools necessary to transition into this wonderful time of life easily and effortlessly so they can continue to live long, healthy, happy, productive lives for many years to come. I help women to stay healthy through many different healing modalities besides just the food on your plate. Health is holistic, and I like to get to the root cause of the illness instead of just putting a Band-Aid on the symptoms. And I have so many tips to share with you today. I want to get started right away. So let's define sustainability. The term sustainability has many different definitions. Here are just a few. Sustainability is the ability to exist constantly. In the 21st century, it refers generally to the capacity for the biosphere and human civilization to coexist, to live in a way that could be maintained at a certain rate or level. Sustainability focuses on meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. The concept of sustainability is composed of three pillars: economic, environmental, and social, also known informally as profits, planet, and people. To simplify the term, let's think of sustainability as a way to live with less negative impact and with the intent of creating a better world for future generations. Let's look at support sustainable efforts. What does that mean exactly, and what's it all about? As individuals, we can only do so much. The more of us making sustainable choices, the more impactful the results. In addition to making changes to your lifestyle, you can choose to support companies making sustainable efforts as well. Most companies nowadays have some sort of sustainability goals in place at a corporate level. Check company websites to learn more about their efforts and be choosy about what companies you buy from to further your support of sustainability. And here are a few examples of sustainable companies that are making a difference. Do what you can. For the remainder of our time together, I'm going to share tips on how you can live more sustainably. Our discussion topics will be divided into 5 categories: energy, water, food, waste, and ecology. Remember, don't stress yourself out by attempting too many changes all at one time. Every effort that you make is a step in the right direction. And for lifestyle changes to be sustainable, they need to become habits, which takes time, right? We're going to look at the light bulb swap. This is a pretty easy thing that we could do. LED stands for light emitting diode. This technology was developed around the 1960s, but was very expensive. As time has gone on, LED has become much more affordable and ends up being a great way to save money on your energy bills. So LEDs are capable of turning out about 70% of their energy into light, making them much more efficient than traditional bulbs. Plus, they can last at least 35 times longer. Additionally, by turning energy into light instead of heat, rather than using heat to generate light, the LEDs are able to operate at a significantly lower temperature than any other types of light bulbs. Switching to LED bulbs is one small change that we can make that makes a big difference. So next time it's time to replace a light bulb, opt for an LED, and little by little, you'll be making that change. And that's a great thing that you could do. And then you want to seek out energy vampires. So let's look at what I mean by that. Energy vampires are appliances or other plugged-in devices that draw energy or phantom loads when they're plugged in but not in use. Anything that remains plugged in but not in use can draw on energy. For example, products that require standby power to run clocks, such as a coffee maker. Charging devices for cell phones and laptops left plugged in continue drawing electricity. Printers, surge protectors, electric toothbrushes, they all contribute to electrical waste. For a full list of energy potential suckers, I'm going to put some links in the description part of this presentation. One way to curb energy vampires is with the use of a smart power strip that shuts off the power to your electronics when you're not using them, saving you the hassle of remembering to unplug each individual device each time. That may be a helpful tip that you want to seek out. And then you may want to get an energy audit. Having an energy audit done on your home is really a great way to determine energy and money that can be saved. Energy audits tell you how much energy your home or your business is losing and provide cost-efficient, sustainable solutions. Other benefits include reducing environmental damage and pollution, lowering energy bills, and extending the lifespans of your current energy systems. How old are your windows? Older windows are less efficient at keeping inside air from escaping. Not only are new windows more energy efficient, but they also help to reduce noise pollution. So if you live in the city like I do, I have trucks and buses going by my apartment all day long. And when I have my windows closed, I hear less of it. So I do have energy efficient windows in my apartment. Because windows can be a major expense, try replacing just a few at a time, or simply manage the gaps in between the windows and the door with caulk and weather stripping to help prevent energy loss. So that's like a short-term goal that you could easily do. And then we want to look at using less water. Water is a precious resource that's often taken for granted because for many of us, it's available in abundance. Fresh water is a renewable and variable but finite natural resource. Fresh water is such a limited resource because about 77% is frozen in glaciers and polar ice caps. Fresh water can only be replenished through the process of the water cycle. To help preserve water in your home, try installing a low-flow shower head or shower timer. According to the Alliance for Water Efficiency, the average American shower 8.2 minutes at an average flow rate of 2.1 gallons per minute. Another way to reduce water in your home is by replacing outdated toilets. Older toilets use up to 3 to 7 gallons more per flush. And the next piece of advice that I'd like to give you is to switch to reusable water bottles. Americans use, on average, 50 billion plastic water bottles a year. Even though recycling efforts have increased, National Geographic reports a whopping 91% of plastic isn't recycled. While drinking water throughout the day is obviously a very healthy habit, one that I promote to all my clients, using disposable water bottles is not sustainable. Invest in a filtration system to fill reusable water bottles, or buy a water pitcher with a built-in filter. That's what I do. And also, when you think about it, the plastics contain BPA, so they're not healthy for us anyway. So when you're buying a reusable bottle, make sure that it's BPA safe. Be honest, how many water bottles do you go through in a week? I know people go through an awful lot. Let's talk about compost at home. Have you ever considered how much food goes into your trash? For those who do a lot of cooking, food scraps can add up very quickly. Unfortunately, when placed in a plastic bag, the organic food waste cannot decompose. The good news is you can compost from anywhere. All you need is a container to place food scraps during the week and a composting area outside for excess food scraps when the bin fills up. When you're ready to toss your scraps, you can either compost right in the ground or invest in a composting container. And now I want to talk about growing your own herbs. Not only do herbs offer a host of health benefits, which is why I love them, but growing fresh herbs is also one of the biggest ways to become more sustainable. Think of all the plastic you save from not buying small bunches at the grocery store and walking over to your windowsill instead. These lovely food accents not only add a welcome burst of flavor to any meal, but they also fill your home with an array of lush, earthy scents. The 5 easiest herbs to start growing in your home are basil, oregano, thyme, mint, and parsley. Many grocery stores sell potted herbs in the produce section. Simply place herbs in a well-lit area and water regularly, and there you have it. The other recommendation that I'm going to talk about is shopping at local farmers markets. There is no better way to support local enterprises than by buying locally grown produce. Not only do farmers market provide the most sustainable and nutritious produce available, but when you buy local, you help cut down on your carbon footprint by contributing to less energy used for transportation. Then we want to talk about adopt zero waste. Zero waste food shopping is a great way to keep unnecessary waste out of the landfills. Reduce food-related waste by using your own reusable containers, purchasing items in bulk, and saying no to individually wrapped items. Also, opt for purchasing tin cans or paper-wrapped items rather than items in plastic packaging. Remember, you don't have to transition to zero waste over time, but all of these little changes over time really do add up, and that's what we want to talk about. Take small steps to bring your own reusable bags to the grocery store, and also use your own mesh produce bags to cut down on those silly plastic bags that are usually available for use in the produce section. Now, here in New York, they no longer give out plastic bags, so you have to bring your own bags to the store, or you could buy reusable bags at the grocery store. So they no longer have plastic bags at all, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt to remember to bring them, but in the long run, we're doing ourselves and our future generations a really great service. So it's a little bit more of an effort, but it makes a big difference. And then, do you know what the protocols are for proper recycling? If you're not sure what can and cannot be recycled, you're not alone. A good rule of thumb is following recycle guidelines. Plastics can usually be recycled in the mixed recyclable section if they are number 1 through number 7 on the packaging. Cardboard and white paper can be recycled in the paper section. Caps, paper with wax, plastic bags, plastic film, and styrofoam should not be placed in recycle bins. Food must be washed off before being recycled, and for specific recycling details in your area, check your municipal or government websites. Say no to plastic bags. Now, like I said, I live in New York and we weren't given the option to say no, but it really helped to get everyone on board. So even when we use plastic bags, they are still wasteful. Plastic bags take years to decompose and they wind up in landfills or in waterways and oceans. Americans use 100 billion plastic bags a year, which requires 12 million barrels of oil to manufacture. According to Waste Management, only 1% of plastic bags are returned for recycling. 100,000 marine animals are killed annually from plastic bags in the water. Stock up on reusable bags and get in the habit of using them. Keep them in your car, and as soon as you unload your groceries, return them to your vehicle so that you always have them available. And keep in mind, you can use your reusable bags for all your shopping purchases, not just groceries. The next suggestion that I have is shop at thrift stores. Thrift store shopping is a fun way to reuse clothing, furniture, decor, and housewares rather than contributing to waste production by shopping new. This is the ultimate way to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Shopping at thrift stores also helps to support local charities and nonprofits. So the next time you need a side table or you're looking for some new art to hang, scope out the local thrift stores in your area. You may even be inspired for a do-it-yourself project by the restored items that you find. Now, I'm going to make a side note here and say something else. I do shop a lot of thrift stores because I like to buy reusable items. Also, I have a Poshmark account where I sell my clothes that I'm no longer wearing. So I'm actually making money off of clothes that I've worn for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years. And now someone else is buying these clothes that are really in excellent condition, and they're buying them at a very discounted rate, and they're able to wear them again. So it's like a win-win, and I'm going to also put that information in the show notes as well. And then, what is eco-friendly hygiene? What do I mean by that? Did you know that a single plastic toothbrush takes over 400 years to decompose? Over 1 billion toothbrushes end up in a landfill every year in North America. Bamboo toothbrushes are a great alternative. They are 100% biodegradable and antimicrobial, which means they don't harbor nasty bacteria. Look for them and buy them in bulk for the whole year. You can also swap your single-use swabs and cotton pads for reusable, eco-friendly swabs that are washable. And then no more paper products. And I'm a big culprit of that myself. Paper towels, napkins, plates, and cups. They're wasteful. Sure, they make cleanup really easy, but at what cost? First of all, if you're looking to reduce your spending, that's a great place to start, right? And it only takes a few seconds to wash a dish. Any spills you can wipe up with reusable cloths, dish towels, and things like that. According to the Paperless Project, 250 million tons of paper towels are used each year. And here's an astounding fact. We flush the equivalent of 270,000 trees down the drain each day. And nearly 10% of that is attributed to toilet paper. So look for recycled toilet paper for a sustainable game changer. Be one with nature. We reached our final category. Ecology deals with the relations of organisms to one another and to your physical surroundings. There are many ways to help support your local ecology and ecosystems. One of the most popular ways is to fill a bird feeder with native bird seed. You can also look into keeping bees or installing a solitary beehive. Solitary beehives are human-made insect hotels that act as a place for pollinating species to take residence. Grow what you sow. Another way to support your local ecology is in your garden. To save the ecosystems in your area, the answer is simple. Grow native plants. Look into the native wildflowers, trees, shrubs, and vines suitable to your environment. And don't forget to plant plenty of pollinating species to help the bees, butterflies, and other insects. For any of you who are wondering where I got my information from, I'm happy to share my resources with you. And then I want to thank you very much for joining me here today. I hope I've given you a few new ideas on ways to incorporate sustainable living into your lifestyle. Remember, don't overwhelm yourself by trying too many things at once. Commit to a few changes and see how it goes. Let's say one change you could make is to bring reusable bags to the supermarket to carry out your groceries. And then maybe you want to bring those netted bags to put your produce in instead of using the plastic bags that they have at the supermarket. Maybe you want to try composting. I gave you a lot of suggestions, and it's up to you to take what you like and leave the rest. But remember, again, don't overwhelm yourself. And for more tips and ideas on living healthier, contact me anytime. Be sure to visit my website at www.susanlopresti.com, and I will also put that in the notes. And you can also follow my podcast, and I will put the link to my podcast in the show notes as well. So until the next time, be well, be happy, and bye for now.